I was 67 when I found the envelope. It was tucked behind an old photo album, inside the bottom drawer of our bedroom dresser, one I hadn't opened in years. We'd just finished celebrating our 29th anniversary. My wife, Helen, had gone to visit her sister for the weekend. I stayed behind, happy to watch baseball and fix up the old garden bench. The envelope was yellowed with age, sealed, but unmarked. I thought it was something old, maybe a forgotten bill or a letter from the past. But curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. Inside were several folded pages, handwritten, not by me, that much I could tell instantly. It was a letter, long, emotional, and signed by someone named Rick, a name I hadn't heard in decades. As I read, my hands trembled. I never stopped loving you, it began. Every time I see you with him, I wonder what life could have been like if you'd chosen me instead. My throat tightened. This wasn't just a fling. This was something deeper, something that had lasted years. But the worst part wasn't the letter itself. It was the date written at the top, April the 14th, 1996, our 3rd anniversary. I sat there for hours, staring at the pages, rereading them. The words seemed to burn into my mind. You told me it would always be a someday, that you'd leave him when the time was right. Has that changed? Suddenly, our entire life together began to feel like a performance. I thought back to that year, 1996. Helen had been distant for a while. I'd chalked it up to stress. We were trying to have a baby then. It never happened. Was that why? The rest of the weekend, I barely moved from the house. I went through drawers, boxes, albums, anywhere she might be hidden more. And I found them. 4 more letters. Each one from Rick. Different years. Different tones. Some angry, some pleading, but all full of love. One stood out. Dated 2001. He looks at you like you're his whole world. How do you live with that lie? And then something that shook me even deeper. Does he still think Mark is his son? My world collapsed. Mark, our only child, born in 2000. My boy, now 25. My fishing partner, the kid I taught how to ride a bike, how to throw a baseball. My son. But that letter, it suggested otherwise. I couldn't sleep that night. My thoughts raced. Did Helen cheat on me while we were trying to conceive? Did she get pregnant by someone else? Was I living a lie? When Helen came back Sunday evening, I acted normal. I had to. I needed time to think, to plan. The idea of confronting her without being sure, I wasn't ready. Instead, I booked a paternity test. Quietly, I told Mark it was for an ancestry thing. He didn't question it. 2 weeks later, the results came. 0% probability of paternity. I stared at the report. I felt like I'd been stabbed. Everything I believed in, my marriage, my son, my life, was shattered. I didn't confront Helen right away. I needed to understand why. How? For weeks, I played the part of a normal husband. I watched her. I studied her smiles, her routines. Wondered how much of it was fake. I started digging deeper. Looked through old phone records. Emails. Nothing recent. But in her old mail drafts, I found unsent messages to Rick. Some recent. As if she'd written them, but couldn't bring herself to send. I see him every day and I still feel guilty. You were right. He never knew. But I couldn't leave him. He was safe. Those words stung. I was safe. Not loved. Not wanted. Just a fallback plan. When I finally confronted her, it was quiet. No yelling. Just truth. Helen, who is Rick? Her face went pale. She didn't deny it. She didn't lie. She just sat down. And then she cried. She told me everything. Rick was her college boyfriend. They were engaged once. Before we met, she broke it off because he cheated, or so she thought. Years later, after we got married, he showed up again, said he'd changed, said he still loved her, and she believed him. It wasn't just one night. They met several times over the years, especially during times we struggled, emotionally or financially. She said she never planned to leave me, but she also never stopped loving him. Mark was his. She admitted it. Said she wasn't sure at first, but deep down, she always knew. I was scared, she said. You were such a good man. I didn't want to ruin everything, but she already had. I couldn't even look at her. I left the house that night, took a week in the cabin upstate, thought about everything. Mark, my life. The years I gave to someone who never truly gave herself back. When I got back, Helen was gone. She'd gone to stay with her sister. Left a note saying she'd give me space, that she was sorry, that she understood if I wanted a divorce. Mark came over. I told him everything. Showed him the test. He didn't say much, just stared into the floor. Doesn't change who raised me, he said finally. You're still my dad. Those words saved me. I didn't divorce Helen. Not right away. I needed time to heal, to think. We live separately now. We talk sometimes, but I'll never see her the same. I tell this story not for pity, but as a warning. Sometimes the people you trust most carry secrets that can break you, but even broken men can stand again.